Alright, today's trick tip is going to be on Nollie backside 360s. So pretty much, you should learn Nollie back 180s. Before I learned Nollie back 180s, I would do just like Nollie backside shove-its, which is really easy because back in the late 70s, before people even did real shove-its, they would do Nollie shove-its with like their front foot facing forward, and they would just kind of like pivot the nose around. So I learned those, and then you kind of like start doing Nollie shove-its like the real way. When I do a Nollie 360 or Nollie 180, I kind of like stand at a hybrid with my foot diagonally, so I can kind of get that inward motion. So you want to learn Nollie back 180s or switch front 180s, whatever is easier for you. And then once you can get that, I would do it Nollie back 180, and I would land on the actual tail, and I would scrape and then turn around. So practice doing Nollie back 180s, and then just landing and then scraping it around. So don't try to go for the full 360 at first. Just do a Nollie back 180 and then revert it around. It'll look really tacky, but then once you get the motion of landing in a manual or scrape, you kind of can go around, and then you work your way up to Nollie 270s and then revert, and then hopefully you want to do it on the air. And the best way to get it on the air without a pivot is when you're popping and put your front foot farther back. Like a lot of people, when they first do it, their foot's here because they rely so much on the pivot. So you put it back, and then when you get that good pop, you want to flatten it out, so kind of like you're going into a pivot, but because you pop harder, you get that that air grip, or whatever you want to call it, so like it sticks to your foot. So then you want to kind of curl your toes a little bit in when you're in the air, and then swing it around. Sometimes you'll land in a pivot, sometimes you won't, but even if you do land in a pivot, if you land in a pivot and keep the manual really low or revert it, like people will still count it, just doing it all the way in the air. So you want to just put your feet in the weird position, and you do Nollie back 180, you pop, twist, and turn all the way around, and kind of just scrape your first time, and then start doing it without a scrape. So it would be like bonk. It'll look really cheesy. And then you just start doing it in fluid motion, and you try not to smack the tail down. So you kind of keep it flattened out, but then you can do the pivot so it doesn't look like you're trying as hard. And then just go for the full thing in the air. Start off going really slow, because when you go really fast, you won't get a good pop, and it'll kind of just be thrown around. I used to have that problem. So you do Nollie, go around, pivot. Doing it off ledges is a lot harder. You got to pop early, and obviously you can't rely on a pivot when you go off the ledge. So just get really comfortable doing that. Do it on the hip afterwards, and it's a pretty fun trick.